My fellow Americans, we are gathered here today to celebrate this thing called life. God bless America and no place else. George Bush. I'm just playing. We have a serious topic to talk about today that I just wanted to bring some awareness to, because it's real and it's happening not only here in America, but it's happening all over the world. And if I wouldn't had experienced myself, I would have never been able to enlighten you on this subject. Even though I'm laughing, it's not funny. But to anybody who knows about my story and what's been going on with me, if you've been trying to express gratitude or sympathy or empathy or condolences, anything like that of that nature, I appreciate you. And I can feel you through the ether. Your kindness is not unnoticed, and I appreciate everything that everybody who is helping me is trying to do at this point, because it's not just me alone. I'm just the person trying to do my small part to bring awareness. But I just wanted to give everybody an update. As of right now, I'm okay. There's been some changes going on that have basically taken me back as I try to figure this stuff out and start the restructuring of my life. And I appreciate each and every one of you, whether I talk to you or not. As of this moment, any calls that you may be trying to send through text or emails, they are still being monitored. So it's best not to send anything. Don't send money, don't send text, don't send calls, don't send emails until I give the notice to, because I won't be receiving them. I haven't received one, but I know that there are people sending them. You see what I'm saying? So I'm still dealing with trying to weed evil and tyranny and corruption out of my life, and that's why I'm not able to communicate the way that I want to, because there are still people that I don't know putting boundaries, limitations, and restrictions upon my life as we continue further throughout this investigation, further throughout what's really happening and what's really going on. But I just wanted to show my face and let people know that I say thank you and that I'm alive and I'm well. And to anybody whose family has been affected by this, I apologize sincerely. It's never my intention to hurt anybody's family. And I just want to make that noticeable and aware. It's not my intention to get anybody mixed up or wrapped up in this who has nothing to do with this. And that's not what I want. That's not what I'm here for. But it's about getting to the facts. It's about getting to the truth of the matter, and it's about doing the world a great deal of good. And I'm doing the best I can, because there were people who had no means of hurting me, who were swept up in this because of lies. There were people who had the best intentions for me, swept up in this because of lies. And damn, the screen went off. Okay. All right. Y'all gotta bear with me, because I'm a technology person to an extent. Okay. But yeah, there were people who were lied to that were swept up in this. There were people who were coerced and paid to be swept up in this. And it's a serious matter. It's a serious topic. And a topic you may be asking about is human sex trafficking. I'm not a sex worker, nor have I ever been a sex worker. But that didn't stop people from targeting me. That didn't stop people who lived 2,000 miles away from me to involve and ingratiate themselves in every facet of my life. That didn't stop anything. You know what I mean? I'm not a sex worker. I have never been a sex worker. But at this very moment, as I speak to this camera, to this lens, there are people saying that I sell my body, people saying that I'm lazy and that I'm homeless and that I'm jobless and all of these other things to cover up the fact of what really happened. You know, they'll say everything but the truth. The truth is, you know, I'm a college dropout. I'm a gang member affiliate. You know what I mean? On some real stuff. And I'm trying not to cuss because this topic is important. At the moment in time in which they found me, I was trying to clean up my life. I was trying to stay out of the streets. I was trying to stay away from selling drugs. I was trying to stay away from just ghetto activities. I would just say it like that. I was trying to stay away from things that didn't benefit my life and the trajectory that I was trying to go toward. And you know, there were people who were lied to, swept up in there. There was somebody who thought that they were, you know, helping me out or in a some kind of mutual sexual relationship with me, and they weren't. You know, and they got swept up in this. Their family got swept up in this, you know, because of people lying, because of people scamming, because of people trying to cheat, rob, steal, kill, and destroy at every turn. And they're not the ones who have to clean it up. You know, there were people who I hadn't talked to in years telling fabrications on me that they know aren't true. And how could they be true if you haven't spoken to me in years? Do you understand what I'm saying? There were people trying to align themselves for their own personal gain, telling lies for affiliations, for connections. And they didn't care about what I was going through and none of the things that I lost in the process of this. A human life was taken for them trying to get to me. You know, and that's one of the hardest things that I've had to come to terms with and that I've had to live with because a life was taken just for some people that I've never met to get to me and try to do something heinous to me. My bare naked body, my feminine form was exposed to complete strangers that I've never met a day in my life. There were people talking about how they were taking care of me, and because I'm a sex worker, and feeling like they have some entitlement to me in my life because they're paying an anomaly. They're paying a source that is outside of my control. All it took was for people to sell me out for stimulus check money. You know, sell me out for $5,000 here, $10,000 there. You know, and I almost lost my life because of this, because it was more than about sex work. They were going to do very gruesome and heinous things to me. I was just an expenditure, and they were going to capitalize off of me in any way that they could. Period. Any way that they could capitalize off of me before my untimely demise, that's what they were planning. All it took was for family members who were supposed to be protecting me as older brothers and sisters to be covetous or envious or jealous or, you know, only worry about money. They didn't worry about how it affected my life. They didn't worry about how it could affected my career. They didn't worry about how it affected my social standing. They didn't worry about how it affected my mental health. They didn't worry about how it affected my physical health because physically, I've gone through things that I've never experienced because for the most part of my life, I've been blessed enough to be a healthy person. But when this started happening, you know, I gained over 20 pounds, enormous stress, uh, high blood pressure, legs and limbs going numb, things that I've never experienced before. Um, I even started smoking more weed, and I'll say that on camera. But I wanted to tell y'all about this stuff because it is important. It's more than important. Um, and going through it, I can't live with myself if I live my life knowing that I've gone through what I've gone through, and I don't at least try to bring awareness. I'm not a perfect person. I don't pretend to be. I'm pretty ghetto. I'm pretty hood. I ain't even gonna cap to you, but it didn't matter. This human sex trafficking, it doesn't matter if you're black, it doesn't matter if you're white, if you're Spanish, if you're Haitian, it doesn't matter if you're an American, it doesn't matter if you're an immigrant, it doesn't matter if you're from a different country, it doesn't matter if you're straight, gay, bisexual, a woman like me, a man, a transgender, a hermaphrodite, it doesn't matter. There are people out there who are willing to sell you by any means, who are willing to harm you by any means, who are willing to gain and profit off of you by any means. They have no regard for humanity. They have no regard for decency, nor do they have regard for human life. And that's why I'm here today to tell you that. But I wanted to let somebody know that as of this moment, I'm okay. As far as business goes, I'm at a halt and I'm at an impasse until I can get to the source of these people who are hacking laptops, tapping phones, dropping calls, rerouting emails, cutting off lines of communications, and things of that nature. They are literally taking mail, which is a federal offense, out of the mailbox, so that I'll never receive word of what's going on, to always keep me in darkness, to try and keep me in subjugation. And as I live and talk to you as of this moment, my life is on the line. And that's not a game. It's not a joke. It's not for pity. It's not for sympathy. It's not for anything of the sort. I put my life on the line to tell you the reality of a gruesome part of life that most people will never experience in their life. Now, with that being said, I would like to start trying to reroute you to places and things that can help you, and places you can go to report human sex trafficking, to get help if you are being human sex trafficked. I also would like to tell you some tips for this and how to get past it, because it's not easy and it's not ordinary and it's not every day, and it affects every aspect of your life. Like I said, there were jobs that I worked at where I was gang stalked and harassed, so people could have eyes on me and monitor me at all times. There were people who were paid to not give me work, so that I would always be at a financial detriment, in order to be able to escape to a new place, so that when the opportunity strikes, they could snatch me up, they could kill me, they could keep me in a place to be a singular place to be subjugated, and so many other things. And this is very real. It's not a game. It's not a joke, and it's hard and it's harsh. I apologize because this. Oh my God! Oh fuck! Oh. It's this Apple computer stuff. It's this Apple computer stuff. I'm trying not to curse, because this is a serious topic. And this phone right here that I'm showing you, this is one of the phones that they tap, to track my movement each and every day. Honestly, last week I was poisoned again for the God knows how many times. Yes, when I say it's not a game and these people will kill you, they will hurt you, they have no humanity, they have no regard for your life. That's very real. But I just wanted to let somebody know how they can combat this and where to go and where to get help. The first place is the Department of Justice. You can go online and submit a form to the Department of Justice. You can send mail to the U.S. Department of Justice at 950 Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest, Washington, D.C., area code 20530. You can also call their hotline at 202-353-1555. You can also call the Switchboard at the Department of Justice at 202-514-2000. Okay. You can also submit tips to the FBI, and they have an anonymous hotline. They have an anonymous email, but you can call 1-800-FBI. Okay, that's 1-800 at 255-5324. You can also contact your local FBI branch. You can file a complaint online. There's so many things that you can do to help you. You can also go to the Human Trafficking website at humantrafficking.org, and you can call the National Trafficking Hotline at 1-888-373-7888. Okay, that's 1-888-373-7888. You can also text their line at 233-733. You can also chat with them online. They have people ready and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It never stops. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week that you can talk to try and get out of your situation. And it's hard. It's hard. In order for me to get the message out, I went to my local FBI branch, and the officer there was paid. Yes, it's that serious. The officer that I talked to was paid in order to sweep this under the rug, what was happening to me, so that people could try to keep me in subjugation. So this is how deep it goes. I had to write a different FBI branch outside of the town that I was in, okay, for them to finally push the case through. And once they sent my package back, they sent it through with a fake letter. Yes, a fake letter that these people had made to keep me subjugated. You understand what I'm saying? So they can continue to stalk, harass, watch, and profit off of my feminine form. Okay, so this is very real stuff. It's not a game. These people literally took a package from the FBI that I had sent to them and sent it back with a fake letter and full of the evidence that I had sent to them, and took the real letter of the case moving forward. You understand what I'm saying? And I had to eventually write Washington. I had to write the Department of Justice and explain to them what was going on and submit the package of evidence that I had given to the first office. And I had to give them the fake letter that was from, the FBI office that I sent it to outside of my town. This is how serious this stuff gets. It's not a game. And some of the signs I would like to tell you how to identify is phones and laptops. These are the first things to go, because they need to get inside of your information. They need to get inside of your bank accounts. They need to get inside of your laptop so they can listen to you through speakers. They need to get in your phone so they can listen through your phone. They need to see who you're talking to. They want to see the places that you frequent and that you go through. Go to. That you frequent and that you go to. They want to see where you work so they can have private investigators or people that they pay to follow you. I've been followed so many times. I can't tell you that. I've literally been poisoned so many times. Just like I said at the beginning, I was poisoned again just last week so that I may die and never have the right to speak upon this topic. But that's how they get you first, electronics. And then from there, after they listen, after they watch, they get into your bank accounts. Yes, it's that serious, because it doesn't matter if they take increments in $30, $25, $45, $60. They will take anything that they can little by little to make sure that you don't have enough resources to live. You know what I mean? They want you to have just enough resources so that you can pay your bills, and that's about it. But any resources to leave or move away, they don't want you to have that at any cost, because it's about keeping you where they can monitor you. Every time that you move, they have to rebuild a new network They have to call on new connections in that town of other people who do the same thing. They have to find new people to stalk you, to watch you. They have to repay people that they've already paid to limit your mobility, to limit your finances all over again. Look, they don't want me to talk, but I'm going to speak anyways because this is how real it is. Okay, so that's the next thing that they'll try to do. After infiltrating your laptops and your phones and paying off the people that they need to pay and limiting finances, they'll get a hold of your family. You know, some of my own family members, most of them, sold me out for money. Yeah, sold me out, and knowing that they were going to do something sinister to me, they sold me out for $1. You know, they didn't care about my life. They didn't care about how I was viewed as a business owner. They didn't care about me being disrespected by men that I've never met. They didn't care about any of that. There's men that I have never met a day in my life, women too, who have seen my bare naked flesh, and I didn't invite them to gaze upon my feminine form. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's one thing when you are a sex worker and you don't mind people looking at your body, but I'm not a sex worker. I have never been a sex worker, and I pray that I never become one. You know, they tried to make me one. Yes, it's that deep and it's that serious. They tried to make me one. And they also, on top of that, while disrespecting everything that I was as a woman, they also tried to steal from me. You know, I'm a content creator. I make music. I make cover art. I make videos. I promote companies and ads. And I'm not the biggest artist in the world, but the people who were watching me, they saw that. And some of those people within that same field and industry that were watching me were stealing ideas from me. You know, taking mental power that I'm trying to use to better myself and better my life to feed their families. And I had to watch it go by for a long time until I could figure out how to get myself out of the situation. You understand what I'm saying? So it's very real. They will get to your family. They will get to your friends. Like I said, they talk to people that I literally have not spoken to in years. I have no idea what type of people they are now in this current moment. I have no idea about the lifestyles that they live. Some of these people I have spoken to, and it's only been mutual. Hello, how are you? How are you doing? That's good that all is well. And we leave it at that. They will contact exes of yours. There's people that I haven't been with in years that they contacted with. I'm talking about 5 to 6 years back. They found family members that I hadn't talked to in 2 to 3 years. So they will go after your family and your friends. Another thing that they'll do is they will start to get you out of housing situations. Anything that they can use to try to get you out of a house in order for you to be either snatched up or to set up the pieces for you to get inside of a place that they've orchestrated. Because human sex trafficking comes in many forms. You know, in many forms. There are some people who actually get stuck in crates and they get shipped overseas and no one ever sees them again. And they get put in brothels and bathhouses and, you know, things of that nature. And it's horrible. And there are people that, you know, they spy on them in the house. And that was one of the things that I had done to me. These people were you know, selling my pictures of my naked body, putting me on sex websites and all of this other stuff that I don't have anything to do with. Another thing that they were doing with the gang stalking is everybody who was stalking and watching me inside of the home through this phone, through Instagram. No bullshit. I'm sorry. Through Instagram, people that I had never met were sitting and commenting on my body, watching me every day. And it was at the point of I couldn't even eat a meal without people coming through through the social media platform, and every time I would refresh, they would tell me what I'm eating, as if I didn't know what I was eating. Craziness, right? It's that deep, and these people do have the ability to do that. And like I said, gang stalking is a part of monitoring you for human sex trafficking. Say that one person has to go and they have to go to work. When they get on their break, they might look at you through the phone, through the laptop, or whatever. But there's always going to be a network of people watching you at every single moment where they have cameras, where they have people following you, and where they have the cameras in your home. And that's what happened to me. I couldn't use the bathroom without somebody knowing that I was using the bathroom. I couldn't take a shower without somebody knowing that I took a shower. I couldn't even drink a Capri Sun. I can't drink juice. Yeah, and I want to cuss so bad, but I'm trying to keep it professional. But I couldn't drink a Capri Sun. So gang stalking is a big part of human sex trafficking, because there's always going to be someone to monitor your progress at any given moment. When you sleep, they watch you sleep. When you leave, when you cut the grass, they watch you do each and every one of those things, and they do it on the network. And like I said, one of the things they'll start doing is trying to get you out of housing situations to put you in a housing situation of their creation. Okay, I've lost multiple places to live. I've lost, at this point in time, 3 places to live because of these people, and they will pay off landlords. They will pay off the company. They will pay tenants to harass you just so you can get out of the home. I had people stalking me, threatening my life, and I have those emails, I have those texts, I have those social media screenshots or whatever you want to call it right now, today. I could show you everything, but I'm not, because I'm going through a current investigation with this situation. But they will have those people stalking and harassing you just so you can mess up your housing. They will have your neighbors doing tampering inside of your home. Okay, I've had it done to me. There's been people who have put stuff on my porch. People who have left stuff inside of the house for me to get as a message received. There have been people who come here to purposely break stuff, and it's just to get on your nerves. It's just to have one more thing that you have to shell out for financially, and it's also a device for a scare tactic to let you know that you have no control and no power, which is false. Okay, and those are some of the signs of identifying it. Like I said, they'll steal things out of your house and misplace them, and they'll just outright take things. They won't even misplace it. It won't even be in a new place. They'll physically take it, or they'll break it and pay somebody to do it. It's that bad. Okay. They broke the lawnmower just because I mowed the lawn. So they broke that. It's fixed now. They tried to break the washing machine. Just absolute madness. They lit a candle in here, and that was probable cause for a house fire. I was gone from 3 p.m. to 1 in the morning, and the candle was melted all the way through to the till you could see clear through the bottom, through all of the wax. Okay, so that means it was burning for hours upon hours upon hours. And they almost burnt this place down. I won't say almost burnt this place down, but they could have. Let me rearrange my words here. So those are some of the things that they do. They will tamper with cars. They will tamper with evidence. Like I said, they pay off police officers. If an FBI officer can get paid, so can your local law enforcement to look the other way. There have been times where I called the police one time in my life. One time in my life, and the one time in my life that I called them, they showed up 45 minutes after. And by that time, I would have been long dead, because I was actually in a physical altercation with one of the people that they paid to stalk and harass me. to get me kicked out of my housing situation so that they could round me up. Yes, this is very real. He came 45 minutes later. And then when I showed him the evidence of what was going on, he told me that there was nothing he could do for me. But when I started fighting with the guy, and he was still outside of the home, and I went to get him like, hey, this man, I got in a fight with a grown man. And no, he didn't beat me up. I beat the brakes off of him. I just want to let you know that right now. Hey, I'm not the hardest, but I can't say that. I can't say that on camera. I'm sorry. But I'm not the hardest, but I beat the brakes off of this little boy. And they took me to jail. And I spent the day after Christmas in jail. No. Please excuse me. I spent Christmas in jail, I believe, and I got out 2 days later. You know what I mean? So I think I spent Christmas in jail. I'm not sure. I got to check the evidence, but I either spent Christmas in jail or I spent the day after Christmas in jail for an altercation that I didn't even start. You know what I mean? This is how deep the manipulation goes. These people have connections all over America, all over the world, and they will use them at any means. You know, there was no reason why an officer that works the beat, and I've seen this officer before. You know, I was in Atlanta at the time. I've seen him before. There is no reason why an officer who drives around all day in his neighborhood, that's his route. He's working the beat 5 days a week, 6 days a week. There was no reason for him to come 45 minutes late. Okay? But that altercation was the start of me getting kicked out of my housing that I needed because I had already previously lost housing because of these people paying other people off. Do you see what I'm saying? You know, do you see what I'm saying? They had already paid somebody who I was staying with off to get rid of me. But by the grace of God, I had already figured out a new housing situation. So understand that it gets as real as that. It gets as real as that. I've had money stolen from me that hopefully in time will come back. I've had opportunities stolen from me. And they were stolen from me not only out of envy and out of jealousy. That's another thing that they'll start doing, affecting your career. Because it's about the image of you. You know, if they destroy your image and make people not care about you, make people not want to look for you, make people not want to help you, they'll set the tone of the narrative that, oh, you are a sex worker, and, oh, this is your life, knowing that it's not true. I've never sold my body in my life for any type of financial gain, but there were other people who sold my body for me for a financial gain. Do you understand what I'm saying? You know, and they put drugs in my drinks and in my food. Just like I said, I was poisoned just last week. Understand this, and this is not a game. I'm not lying. I would never lie about something like that. I was poisoned just last week. I know ways to make my body vomit. No, I'm not a bulimic, but it's about pressure points in your body. And I had to press the pressure point in my body in order to throw up whatever toxin that they had spiked my food with. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because I'm at the point in time where, as I'm telling you this right now, my life is on the line because they don't want me to speak about what happened to me. They don't want me to tell the tools and the devices that they use to do this to other human beings. Period, point blank. Okay? But yes, they will poison you. They will drug you. They have drugged me so many times, and I don't do hard drugs. I want to let that be known right here, right now. I smoke marijuana, and I will admit that all day. I find no shame in that. But I don't do any pills. I don't do any cocaine. I don't do any ecstasy. I rarely drink. I mean, when I say rarely, I cannot tell you the last time that I've had a beer. It's been that long since I've had a drink. Okay? I don't do shrooms. I don't do ayahuasca. I don't do DMT. I don't do peyote, hash, nothing of the sort. Okay? But they were literally drugging my food and my drink, and I could have been raped at any time. They could have called someone and gave them this address, and that person could have raped me, and I would have never known. I would have just woke up in pain. You understand what I'm saying? It's that serious. And why did they do it? Because they were trying to kill me. Yes. It's already bad enough that you've ruined a person, every facet of a person's life, but they were trying to kill me, you know? And everybody's story isn't that deep. Some of them, they just want you to sell your body. You know, they just want you to sell and solicit sex. But what they were rounding me up for was something much more sinister than I could even imagine. You know, and I'm fortunate by the grace of God, and I really mean it. I'm fortunate by the grace of the Heavenly Father to be able to be alive in this moment and to be able to speak to you and tell you part of what's going on, because I cannot tell you everything as of this moment. And my job as of this moment, like I said, my business is on a hold as of now. I'm trying to find ways to work around it, but it's very hard when you have something so serious going on. And when you still have predators, pedophiles, murderers, rapists, stalkers, harassers, perverts, sexual deviants, people who can be bought and bribed and manipulated still after you. I have many enemies right now at this moment as I speak, and some of these enemies, the world doesn't see their face. They don't show their face. They don't make public announcements, and they are not to be played with. So as I tell you this stuff and that my life is on the line, truly believe that. But I will give my life to be able to tell you the tools and devices that they use, and to tell you that there is life after that. Nobody has control over your life unless you want it. But it took, because they hid behind so many people, behind so much money, behind so much orchestration, behind setting the pieces up, it took a very long time for me to find the source of who was doing this to me. Period. It took me a long time to find the source and pinpoint it. Now that I've pinpointed it, things have slowed down a lot. And it's still ongoing. Just like I said, it doesn't stop until I'm out of here. They don't want me to speak. Well, they were planning to do something heinous to me from the start, but they capitalized off of me in this very way. And I just wanted to tell you that. But how can you combat it? First and foremost, you need to go and get a burner phone. Okay? If you can afford it, go and get a burner phone by any means. Do not put your number, don't go to Metro, don't go to Verizon, don't do any of that, because these people have access to abnormal technology. And I'm just keeping it above. This is my fifth phone. That's how I'm going to explain it. This is my fifth phone. When I got this phone, it only took 3 days for it to be hacked again. Yes, 3 days. That's all it took for it to be hacked again, for them to find the number. Okay? So you need to go and get a burner phone. If your laptop was hacked or tapped, I recommend you change the hard drive. Once you change the hard drive, whatever malware is inside of your computer, it can no longer affect it. But I literally got a whole entire new computer, and they paid somebody to rehack it. Okay? So understand that that's your choice. But I personally, especially if you're not doing anything crazy, I would change all my passwords to everything that you can. Change your passwords every moment and every chance that you get. Every time you feel like the one you changed it to is getting stale, rechange it, because these people hack into accounts as well. Okay? And as far as the entire laptop goes, that's your choice. You can also buy hard drives and get it switched out by Geek Squad. But if it gets tapped twice, that means somebody is doing that to you, and they're probably putting a bug on your computer, and it's probably somebody close to you, like it was me. They hacked me twice. they hacked me twice. The computer that I'm talking to you on right now, this MacBook Air, I didn't even get to have it for a full 2 weeks before it was rehacked. And the one day that I didn't bring it with me to keep it safe, The one day that I didn't bring it with me to keep it safe was the day that somebody came in here and they put malware on it for these people to be able to monitor all of my moves and all of my progress. Yes, it's that deep. It's that deep. It's not a game. Okay. Those are some things you can do with your electronics. As far as people trying to smudge you out of financial opportunities and jobs, make a report so that way it's in a database. If you make an electronic report, it's in a database. It goes to corporate. Corporate will always have it. Just like when you call them and you call them on those phone lines, they have those automated messages. Those phone lines are also being recorded. They have evidence of any conversation that you told them. But it's always better to make a report online so it can go through that electronic database. Okay? And make it more official than just a phone call, because they could probably delete the phone message. So it's better to make the electronic report and call. And then that way you also have a documentation of the people who have been harassing you or blocking you off from opportunities, or trying to keep you from work and things like that. So that's a way you can help yourself. It will behoove you to, like I said, report it to a major institution like the FBI or the DOJ and things like that. Okay, and the Human Trafficking Hotline if you suspect that you are being human trafficked. It behooves you to do that. Okay, so they can have it in their database and they can try and contact you the best way that they know how. Okay, because like I said, when I say that they will literally reroute your mail and steal your mail so you can never know what's going on, they will do that by any means. So do that, and if you can't do that and time passes, wait at least 1 to 2 weeks. I implore you to wait at least 1 to 2 weeks, because these people are busy and they are looking at crimes and heinous stuff that is of the utmost importance. Okay, but your life is important too. Never forget that your life is important. When your life is on the line, that's very important. But think about all that these people have to look through and sift through. So just be mindful of that, and wait for word. Go to use outside computers. I by no means put your financial information or anything like that in these systems. Don't put your security, social security, none of that. Okay? Go and use public computers. Even if you have to put your personal information on a public computer, it is more safer and effective than putting it on your actual laptop when you suspected that you've been hacked and that you're a part of something like human sex trafficking. The computer will save you, because a public computer is one of the tools that help save my life. Okay, I had to not use my laptop and go to the college, look up places where you can use public computers at your local community college, at your local library, things like that. You have to find a way to tell somebody what's going on with you by any means. So that's a tip that you can use to help. If you suspect friends and family members are helping, do not communicate with them, because their job is to be a flying monkey. Their job is to go back to the same people who are doing this to you and give them tidbits of information, whether big or small. Don't tell anybody you're moving. Don't tell anybody who you're sleeping with. Don't tell anybody where you're going. Don't tell anybody your favorite place. If you suspect them or have caught them as a person who is helping keep the vicious cycle going, do not communicate with them by any means. And then when you do communicate with them, make sure that it's light-hearted and you don't tell people your plans, where you're going, or what you're doing. By no means, because they will orchestrate the pieces to block you off from that. And when you do move, like I said, make sure you get a burner phone. Do not get a line phone from Metro, Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, or anything of that sort, because that will be your downfall. They will track that and start again. And when you move to your new place, make sure you switch the hard drive out of your laptop by any means. Do not use that laptop where you are, because they will track that IP address and they will get a ping. It might not show your exact location, but it can show the general area that you are in. And they'll be waiting and they'll be watching until the next opportune time to start infecting your life again. So, yeah, that's one of the ways you can help yourself. As far as it comes to jobs, keep an emergency stash of at least $500. If you have bank accounts, keep an emergency stash of at least $500, because you never know if you're going to have to run. Okay? The people who were doing this to me were 2,000 miles away. Yeah, 2,000 miles away. Understand that. They went half of the United States over, more than half of the United States over from where they were located, just to try and traffic me for 2 years. Do you understand that? To stalk and harass and to try and kill me for 2 years. For 2 years. And when I say these people were bottom feeders, they were trying to kill me for insurance money, inheritances that I didn't even know that I had. They were planning to sell my organs. Yes. Gruesome. Disgusting. Atrocious. They were selling pictures of my body online. They were talking to men online, making them think that we have some relationship. And I've never met these people a day in my life, and I had no idea until all of the evidence started coming out. Okay? And hurting other people. They don't care who they hurt as long as they trying to profit. You know, there was some man who thought that he was doing for me or taking care of me, and I never met this man a day in my life. I do not know him. I never met him. I don't want nothing from that guy except for what I'm owed. You know what I mean? Because I'm going to get my money regardless. Okay, let me be serious. This is America. And I just want to let that be known. But, because people's families were affected by this. They do not care. Any way that they can make $1 off of me and be a bottom feeder, they did. And they did it on top of inviting other people to the party. So imagine that, people selling pictures of your body and putting you on websites, and you have no idea, and there's people getting paid off of that who are supposed to be protecting you and helping you. People ruining your career and ruining your reputation, talking about, oh, she's this and she's that, knowing that it's not true. It's just a story that they fabricated, or it's just a narrative that they put the pieces together to orchestrate in order to make sure nobody would ever ask questions about you. And that's one of the saddest things that personally going through it that I've ever seen. And it's just like, they won't let you have anything. They don't care. They will not let you have anything. When I say that these people will steal $10 from out of your bank account just so they can buy them a burger that they don't have to work for, they will. They've called me everything from a porn star to a virgin. I don't know. Am I a porn star or am I a virgin? Or am I a porn star virgin? Who knows? I'm a porn star virgin. They've called me for a porn star, a hooker, a virgin. They said that I was clinically and mentally insane. Yes, that I had a form of mental retardation. This is how far it went. But I own an entire business. And when that wasn't enough, these people talked about my business and diminished my business. People that I was trying to get deals and sponsorships from, they somehow got in contact with these people through emails and whatnot, and started telling them all types of lies about me, so nobody would ever know that I existed in a form. You know what I mean? Do you understand that? So nobody would ever really care about what happened to me, because they would devalue my image so that I would be looked at as lesser than. Understand, this is how deep the manipulation goes. Okay? They've had people at job sites, be careful on your jobs. That's another way that you can protect yourself. If you're working a regular job, like I said, I do multiple things. And with me trying to change my life, I do many different things. I still work normal, everyday jobs. I am not above it. I am not ashamed of it. I have no shame in that. I feel no shame in getting up and trying to do for myself. Do you understand me? But these people said that they've even called me a bum. Said that I just live off of other people and all I do is run around and mooch and leech off of other people. But these are the same people who got me kicked out of housing situations. These are the same people who have been stealing money from me. These are the same people who have been orchestrating the pieces for me to lose jobs and to lose opportunities. So am I a bum or am I hardworking? Or am I a hardworking bum? Who knows? I've been called a drug addict, everything. And I just want to get that out there because that's important. If they devalue you and who you are and your essence, no one will care about you. That's what they want. They want to manipulate all the parts so you can say, this is happening to me and I feel crazy. You're not crazy. There's nothing wrong with you. What you are seeing and witnessing is the truth. It's just the sinister truth that you have to find a way to fight your way out of. T.D. Jakes, he put a seminar online that was powerful. And I think this is about 3 weeks old now. And it was about digging your way out of any situation, no matter what it looks like on the surface, to be able to find value and beauty in your situation and find a way to dig yourself out of that hole so that you can build a house and a foundation. That's very important. You are not helpless, you are not hopeless, and nobody has power over you. Ever. Don't ever think that. And as a Black woman, with my ancestors being slaves, I will never, ever, 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 ever in my life let another man or female or whoever subjugate me into any form of slavery and tell me that I don't have power in the freest country in the motherfucking world. Okay? I'm just letting that shit be known right now. Ooh. I'm sorry, but that inspired me because where everybody else saw a hole in the ground and a plot of land, he saw a building. You have to keep your mind strong. That's another tip, to keep your mind strong by any means. If they break you in your mind, then they will break you in your spirit. If they break down your spirit, then you will have no willpower to get the help that you need. That's the tactic they use. I'm ghetto. It's pimping 101. Okay? Break them down in their mind so they don't feel anything in their spirit except for what you tell them. You can never let those people do that to you. You have to DJ Khaled and be number one. Another one. You have to keep your mind intact by any means. Any means. Period, point blank. If they break you down in your mind, you will never find your way out of that situation. But like I said, if you are here in America and you're going through this, you are in the freest country in the world. There are things that we do every day that other people in other countries get killed for. They die. There are countries in Iraq, if a woman gets raped and speaks up on the man who defiled her, they will stone her to death. Be grateful for where you live and all of the resources that you have. And if you're in another country going through this, you have to find an alternative way in your country to help yourself. Period. But in America, one of the freest countries in the world, I will never let somebody, after all that my ancestors have been through, tell me that I'm a slave to anything or to anyone. And I've lost a great deal. I've lost a lot. These people were doing things to me that was totally unnecessary. It literally never had to be done in the first place. They did it anyways because, like I said, it was something much more sinister. And a part of it was about breaking your mind, your body, your soul, and your spirit. They did stuff as petty as steal clothes. Like they stole 2 containers worth of clothes. And then they were on the phone talking about the clothes that I wear. And it's just like, I don't have any because you stole them. You know, as I sit and talk to you right now, I'm not a rich woman. I don't have $1 million. I don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars. You know, and anything that I do have in my pocket right now is my business because I know that they're watching me. But this is real stuff, and I want to tell you how to get through that. There are so many devices. Trust no one. When you going through this, trust no one, because if people can sell you out just to have rent money, they will. I've seen it. If people will sell you out for $5,000 checks and $10,000 checks, they will. I've seen it. I've watched my own people not have any regard or any respect for me at all. And the same people that they sold me out to, they were on this phone, baby, with those same people talking about my body, talking about how I'm this and how I'm that and how I'm this and how I'm that, laughing at me, helping those people ruin me, helping those people try to keep me in a fake form of subjugation. Understand that it gets that deep. Trust nobody. That's an important tip. The only people you need to trust is the person that says that they're going to help you. Don't trust anybody but a person who's willing to help you out of your situation, period. Because like I said, if they can pay off an FBI officer to not take my case after I tell them that there are people trying to kill me, murder me, that they are trying to subjugate me and sell my body, and he turned me away, another one will. Only trust people who, when you do speak and you do tell them what's going on, trust those people who don't sit there and say, oh, you're crazy. They say, okay, how can we fix it? Those will be your greatest and your only allies. Everybody else can be bought. Everybody else can be lied to. Everybody else can be manipulated. There were people involved in this. They didn't even get paid any money. It was just about the fact that they hated me so much that they were willing to allow something so heinous to go on in my life. There were people watching me on that opposite end. At any given time, they could have made a report. They could have told somebody what was going to happen to me and what those people were doing to me. They didn't. They thought it was funny because they have hate within themselves. They didn't get paid any money. They just thought it was funny. Yes. And we have to get out of this stigma of law enforcement. And that was a hard hump for me. This situation has actually made me believe in law enforcement more than I ever have in my life. Like I said, the first time I ever called the police in my life and it wasn't for an ambulance was when I got in that altercation with a person that they paid to stalk and harass me to get me kicked out of my living situation. But it's officers that at this very moment in time who have banded together and came together in order to help me weed this evil out of my life and find the root and the source of this tyranny, okay? So that other people don't be affected by it. And that's one of my main concerns as of right now. That's why I'm not really as active as I want to be. It's not because I'm lazy. It's not because I don't want to. I want to give people music so bad right now. I got at least 2 to 3 albums I want to give to people so bad right now, but I can't even make music the way I want to because my laptop is hacked. Because I'm still going through this situation right now as we speak. Because I'm going through an ongoing legal situation right now as we speak. Because just like last week when they tried to poison me, there are still people trying to end my life so that I may never speak and I may never tell you these realities. It's not everybody's reality, but it is reality. It's not a game. It's not funny at all. I watch people. I would come in this house, this very house that I'm sitting in is the very house that they are watching me in, even right now as we speak. And I don't care because it's been going on so long. How can you care? You start becoming desensitized to things and you're just like, okay. But I would come in this house every day and wave and say, honey, I'm home. How you stalkers doing? How you harassers doing? How are you obscenities whatever obscenity I wanted to call them. How are y'all doing today? Every day. And there were people on the opposite side of the cameras in this place watching and laughing, thinking that it's funny that they're stalking and harassing somebody, that they're watching someone be naked inside of a home, that they're watching someone eat fucking ramen noodles and spaghetti. And please excuse my mouth because it's hard. It's hard. You know, it's a frustrating situation to be in, for one. And when I say it's frustrating to the point of, once I found out the people doing this, like, I literally wanted them to just die. You will feel deep emotions. Deep emotions. They did so much to me to the point where I wish that they just wouldn't even exist, because I feel like the world would be better without them. Yes, it gets that deep. You will feel emotions that you have never felt. You will feel frustration that you have never felt. You will feel anger that you've never felt. Because how can somebody be so unhumane? How can somebody be so sickening? How can people's minds be in such a state where it's just like they don't understand actual reality and the reality that they're trying to make for you? Because it's a false one. If you choose to think it's your reality, then it is. But your mind, you have to keep your mind strong. Your mind is your greatest tool. Your mind is how you transmute and alchemize anything. My mind was what got me out of this situation where most people never got to live through it. And when I say that these people were going to do sinister things to me, and the fact that I'm even alive today is a blessing, I mean that. But my mind got me through it. If you believe in higher power, to have faith. Yes. If you believe in God, I'm getting chills through my body right now. Baby, they don't want me to speak, especially when I start talking about the Father. They don't want me to speak because I got strong faith. If you believe in a higher power, pray. Every chance I could get to meditate, that I actually felt like meditating, I did. Every chance that I could get to give offerings to God and to my ancestors, I did. Every chance I could get to pray through the situation, I did. Have a strong faith if you have one. You have to have something to carry you emotionally as well. It's not just about your physical form. It's not just about how you can use your mind to get you out of the situation. Faith will take you a long way. Just like that T.D. Jakes, dig your way out of it. Just like that Sunday service he had. You have to have faith in order to see what other people cannot see. And you have to have the faith to keep going. And you have to have the perseverance to dig your way out of it. Do your best to keep your body healthy. That's another tip. You are going to go through extreme stress. I have never felt stress like this in my life. And all while this was happening, not only was I going through turbulent situations that these people created for me to try and do something horrendous to me, I lost my mother on top of it. You know what I mean? A life was lost just to get me into a place. They killed someone else just to try and fake trap me. And I can say that. I can't go into too many details, but they hurt someone in order to get me into a place where it's hard to gain resources, where it's hard to get out of, to keep me in this fake parallel until I did whatever they wanted me to do, which was die. Yeah, which was die. So I went through extreme stress. You will go through extreme stress, whether you're grieving or not. But imagine trying to fight for your life while trying to figure out who's doing this to you, while trying to fight all the orchestrated circumstances that they set up so that you can't get any help, while at the same time grieving someone that you've lost, that you love deeply and you love dearly. You know what I mean? That's very hard, and I cry often because I haven't truly been able to really just grieve in peace, with no one watching me, with no one following me, with no one trying to kill me or threatening my life. It's very serious. It's very serious. But you will go through extreme stress, things that you will feel things in your body and sensations in your body that you never thought. So you have to keep your body healthy. Drink lots of water, eat as many fruits and vegetables as you can. When it comes to my journey, like I said, I gained 20 pounds through stress, which is strange because when I found out who was doing this to me, I literally gained 20 pounds. And I still eat the same way I did without those 20 pounds. I don't work out every day or nothing like that. Every now and then when I feel like I want to go on a run on the treadmill, I do that. Or I want to pump some iron, I'll do that. Just to get the energy out of my body. But I still eat the same exact way that I did when I was 20 pounds lighter. But the stress of knowing who and where it was coming from and what I was dealing with, it put on stress weight. So keep yourself healthy. Eat as healthy as you can. Drink as much water as you can, because that's going to bring you through. What you fill your body with has a lot to do with your mind. The things that you put inside of your mind has a lot to do with your spirit. Your spirit has a lot to do with not being broken in order to get yourself out of the situation. And yeah, that's really all that I can give to you, and I hope that it helps. I hope that it helps, and I hope that the message was well received. And if you are going through this, know that there are resources and there is help out there. And this is how you can identify some of the signs. This is how you can try and fight your way out of it, and the tools that you need to try and fight your way out of it until you can get into a safer space, because no one should have to live with people after them. No one should have to experience some of the things that I've experienced. There were women on the other side of this phone. Imagine that. Imagine being a woman and trying to put another woman into indentured servitude. Do you know how crazy you look? And that's my personal opinion. Other people might not feel the same way as me. But there's no way that I could be a woman and be a slaver of women, if that makes any sense. Of children either. It's not right. And men get human sex trafficked too. Your gender does not matter. There are little boys that get snatched up, never to be found again. Okay? And they go through the same thing. Okay? There are grown men who get snatched up off of the streets and put into servitude. It does not matter about your gender. Okay? And I want to make that apparent right here, right now. It doesn't matter if you're trans. It doesn't matter if you're cis. It doesn't matter. They will take anybody that they can make a profit off of. They will try to subjugate anybody that they can make a profit off of. Period, point blank. Do you understand me? But yeah, and if you know about me and my personal situation, all I'm asking is that you submit evidence, whether it be calls, text messages, emails, videos of any nature. Because like I say, they've already scandalized me. There is nothing that those people can show you that will embarrass me at this point, because the shame was already lost a long time ago, the moment that people that I've never invited to view my life, to be a part of my family, to be a part of my world, to look at my body, to look at my personal information, I have already been violated. So there's nothing that you can send through that will embarrass me. If anything, it will help me. And if you know about my situation, I'm asking you, don't feel like you're snitching or nothing like that. We've got to get out of that stigma, because there are people who give their life. They will lose their life in order for you to have one, in order for you to be free, in order for you to be healthy, and for you to be happy. And this is the oath that they take. They are there to help. All of them are not bad. And I had to get over my stigma and my relationship with the police. And I'm still vacillating back and forth. I'll admit that to you. But there's good people who helped me, and they saw my information, and they're going to war for me right now. You know, they're trying to help me out. They're trying to do something so great that's deeper than me. That's deeper than me. The moment that we can clean scum like this off of the streets, because the world don't need people like that. I'm telling you right here, right now. There's just some stuff that's so egregious and so heinous and so harsh and so derogatory and so atrocious and disgusting that these people by no means need to even be walking around. They truly need a cell or a grave. They're fighting to find the core root of all of this and get those people and get them out of here so it doesn't happen to anybody else. Because like I said, a life was lost for them just trying to get to me. And I have to live with that every day of my life, that somebody else died just so another person could try to do something spiteful to me. But I'm asking you, any calls, any texts, any emails, any videos, any photos, any evidence, even if it's just a typed up statement or a written statement, I'm asking you to send it to either the DOJ, the Department of Justice, the Human Trafficking Hotline, or the FBI. It doesn't make you any more or less of a man or a woman. It makes you somebody who's going to help a lot of people. And if you have any information about these people that I'm going through this stuff with, because legal restrictions, I can only say so much. If you know about anything that those people have been doing in regard to human sex trafficking, you aren't any less of a man or a woman if you report that stuff, because they need to get out of here. There are little girls right now as we speak. Their mothers and their fathers do not know where they are, and the worst thing in the world that could be happening to a child is happening to a child. Yes. There are men and women who were going off living their life like every day, and just like me, other people, the wrong people took interest in them and went out of their way, and went out of their way to put them in a falsehood and in a false reality that's hard to escape from. It's so much bigger than me, and it's so much bigger than what happened to me. It's about the benefit of humanity. I'm doing this for little girls. I'm doing this for little boys. I'm doing this for grown women. I'm doing this for gays, bisexuals, transgenders, whatever you think you are, want to be. I'm doing this so people can be free and they will never have to experience the things that I've experienced in my short lifetime. I'm 26 years old. I should have never had to go through this type of darkness and this type of wickedness, but I did. And I have the choice because my life goes on. Every day that I get up, my life is still my own. I still have a choice. And I'm making the choice to do something bigger than me. And that's what this video is about. I just wanted to tell you ways that you can help yourself and stop the cycle. You know what I mean? Ways that you can help yourself and stop the cycle. There's some more tips that I just thought of, but I'm not going to give them. I'm going to end the video here, and I hope that what I said was enough. Like I said, if you've been trying to email me, call me, text me, please don't do that, because there are still people dropping calls. They are still in my email. I had to shut down a bank account again. They are still having me followed. I went to get coffee the other day. When I got to the house, they sent a message through the phone talking about how they're watching me get coffee. Do you want a fucking cookie? Yeah. And it's that deep and it's that serious. It's that deep and it's that serious. So please don't send any of that stuff through, even though if you're trying to help me. And definitely do not send your money through. I don't want your money. The people who did this to me, they'll have to pay me. Understand that right now. I don't want nobody's money except for the ones who owe me, baby. And that's real talk. Because I'm going to get paid regardless. I'm going to find a way to get what I need out of it regardless. And it's not about being heartless. It's not about being cutthroat. It's about people who need to be accountable for their actions. Finally being accountable for their actions. People who have ran around here ruining people's lives, finally being accountable for what they do in other people's lives because they want to make quick money, because they want to steal, because they want to kill, because they want to destroy, because they want to manipulate the parts. This is their karma. It has nothing to do with anybody else. So please do not send your money because they are bottom feeders and they are crumb snatchers. And that's why I got my account closed out so they can't steal not one more cent from me. I do not want your money because you don't owe me. What you do owe me is to heed the message. That's the only thing you owe me, to heed the message. And if you know some information, to send it through. Not just for me, because I'm a small cog in a very big machine, but for other people. Like I said, my goal and my focus at this moment in time is restructuring my life after what's been done. It's about getting past barriers in my mental health because I do have blockages and barriers now within myself that don't have nothing to do with anybody. Even though they caused the situation, they don't have anything to do with anybody except for me. Yeah, and can't nobody fix it for me. But I'm trying to focus on my mental health and try to get past some of the trauma that I've experienced going through this stuff. Don't nobody owe me anything, but I'm trying to save little boys and little girls and men and women who are going through the worst right now because I feel some of what they feel. And like I said, human trafficking comes in many forms. Those people do different things to different people. It's not always that they put you in a brothel. Sometimes, just like me, they'll put you in a house and put you in a town where it's hard to get out of and put cameras in it and sell you online. You know, sell tickets for people to watch you die and all kinds of crazy stuff because as crazy as it sounds, that's what they were doing to me. They were literally selling tickets to my death. People had access to my everyday life and my everyday movement like a show. Yeah, like a show. And then eventually they were going to kill me and get insurance money off of me, split it down and break it apart between different people who helped them orchestrate this. And they were going to sell my organs. It's heinous. But there are people in this world, they have no regard for human life. Understand that. And that's what I'm asking you to do. I'm asking you to give up any information that you may have that will put characters like this far away from normal society. And when I say normal society, how we perceive normal is different. But I'm talking about good and bad. I'm talking about good and evil. And it's as simple as that. It's as black and as white as that. Do you need to be walking around on these streets or do you need a cell? Do you need to be living every day amongst people or do you need to be far away from people, preferably in the ground or in a jail? And that's just how I feel. Either one is fine with me. That's just the type of person I am. Do you want a body bag or a cell? Because there are people walking amongst us that those are the only two options they need. They don't need anything else. They don't need you to lie for them. They don't need you to cover for them. They don't need you to manipulate anything for them. They need their karma. They need what's right. Period. So that's all I'm asking. And like I said, thank you so much. If you've made it this far, because it might be like almost an hour in. If you made it this far, I love you. And God bless America. And no place else. George Bush, I'm a throat. You remember when they threw that shoe at him? My name is Ranikia Allen. I'm an artist and CEO of Generation Infinity Records. I'm an aunt. I'm a daughter. I'm a woman of God. I'm an asshole. I'm an American. I'm a lover. I'm a fighter. I do wrong. I'm not perfect, but I do right. And it don't have to be perfect. It can be just enough. And I love you and thank you so much for anybody who supported me through these times. And I hope that gave some enlightenment on not only what's going on with me, but also enlightenment on human sex trafficking and the tools and devices that they use to round people up, and the tools that you can use to help get yourself out of these hard situations. Thank you very much. Like I said, God bless America, and He bless every place else. Peace out. I gotta type it in. This is not a good ending to anything. I should be serious, but I'm still joking. Because why not? The worst has already happened.